Yo, 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 happy whatever day you're watching this. Thank you for tuning in today. We're talking about a topic that is very important as it relates to weight loss because we're talking about scale weight. And obviously, losing weight means that you're losing weight on the scale. So, we are going to talk about overall just tracking your progress, using your scale weight, what it means, when to do it, how to go about it, pretty much everything you need to know about tracking your scale weight. And how to go about it from a mental standpoint, the actual tactical ways to go about it, what that's going to look like and what's going to consist of. So here are the areas we're going to go through right here. We're going to go through why you should track your scale weight, when not to weigh yourself, other measures of progress, why scale weight went up, and it's not you gaining extra weight or extra body fat. What time of day, well, it is you gaining extra weight, but not gaining extra body fat. And what time of day is best to weigh yourself, how often to weigh yourself, what scale weight actually means, and a nice little conclusion. So with that said, please like the video, please subscribe to my channel. It means the world to me. It means a lot to get more people to see content that is hopefully going to help them with their fitness goals and other aspects of life. So with that being said, let's get it popping. Why you should track your scale weight, again, other than to know if it's going down or not. So basically, here's the thing. You want to be able to see changes and fluctuations with your scale weight on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and just overall in the big picture, you want to see it overall going down. So on a day-to-day basis, it's not as important. Your scale weight is going to fluctuate so much just depending on a lot of different things, what time of day you weigh yourself, what you ate, how much you ate, if you have to go to the bathroom, if you just had a tough workout, and that's stuff we're going to talk about why scale weight went up, but it's going to fluctuate a lot. So I think it's good to, one, just kind of see what actions lead to it going up and down on a daily basis, so you can either do more or less of those things, and or just know that like if you do XYZ thing, it's not going to mean that you gain body fat, it just means that it went up a little bit. But overall, it is helpful to track your scale weight because you can see those changes over time. And obviously there's a lot of other measures of progress, which we're going to talk about, but it is good to kind of see. And then also it allows you to know when to make adjustments and changes to what you're doing with nutrition or workouts. If it's been 2 months and your scale weight has stayed the same and your goal is to lose weight, lose fat, then it's like, yeah, it's probably time to start to decrease the amount of calories or add in another day of workouts or do something to allow you to make more progress. So that's really the main thing, is to kind of use it as data. It's really data on a day-to-day, week-to-week, big picture basis. Obviously, you want to see it going down over time, but it's helpful to know what adjustments to make to your actions. That's really the biggest thing, and kind of hold you accountable in that way. When not to weigh yourself. So here's the thing. If you are consistently checking your scale weight, like nonstop, like you weigh yourself 5 times a day, it's time to take a break. We got to take a break from checking your scale weight so much. Like, it's just not emotionally, mentally healthy to be checking on that much of a regular basis. So keep that in mind, especially if you're doing that and it's changing your entire mood and the actions you take. So if you weigh yourself, this is also just in general. Say you weigh yourself every day, if not multiple times a day, but it's every single day, and immediately, just depending on whatever the scale says, or if it went up, down, whatever, that's going to determine your mood. If you're automatically happier because it went down, then obviously that's great and it's good to see progress. But if it completely ruins your day because it didn't go down or maybe it went up a little bit, that's when it's time to kind of reassess and be like, all right, should I take a break from weighing myself as much? You probably need to be more aware of like what's causing it to go up and down, and that's what we're going to talk about with the rest of this video. So I think this video will be super helpful for you, but it's important to be aware of that, kind of aware of if the scale is being more of a negative thing to you and your actions and your goals, to keep that in mind. And then two, if you do say you have a day where you wake up and the scale weight is up a little bit more than you like, and you're like, why am I even taking any action with my fitness goals if I'm just going to end up gaining weight? Like, what's the purpose of me doing all this if I'm not going to make any progress? At that point, that's when you want to kind of take a step back and be like, all right, I need to stop weighing myself as much and just focus on the actions at hand that I needed to do. So if scale weight is causing you to overeat that day because you're like, screw it, nothing's working, I might as well just eat whatever I want, do whatever I want, take a step back, focus on your day-to-day actions, focus on what you can do on a day-to-day basis to be the best version of you. So with that being said, scale weight is not everything by any stretch of the imagination. These are things to keep in mind. These are other measures of progress that are extremely helpful to actually know that you're losing fat, losing weight, and honestly probably better. Some of them are better. So first things first is progress photos. Take progress photos once every 2 to 4 weeks. Compare from where you previously were, see where you're at. There's not going to be a ton of changes after 2 weeks, and probably not a crazy drastic amount of changes after 4 weeks, but you should start to see changes over time, and that's a big time measure of progress and a bigger measure of progress because you want to look a certain way, not just be a certain weight on the scale. Like I would imagine that you, even if you only lost 5 to 10 pounds, but your body completely changed and you look leaner and you look better, you would take that every time. So keep that in mind. Like how you look and kind of how you feel is the most important thing, not necessarily the scale weight. They kind of go hand in hand, but that's a big thing. Progress photos. How clothes fit. So if your pants are fitting more loose, if like your shirt, it's not as tight around your stomach, if you notice changes like that, then that is, sorry, my eye was hurting a little bit. Then that's a big time measure of progress and big time area of improvement that you got to keep in mind. And you're getting better and you're making strides then even if scale weight isn't going down a ton. How you look in the mirror. If you can look in the mirror and be like, okay, I see changes happening. I like what I'm seeing right now. Progress is happening. If you're getting better with your workouts, if you're getting stronger, if you're doing more weight, you're doing more reps, you're showing up to the gym more often, you're pushing yourself more. Progress. You're making progress. And then lastly, so scale weight is nice because it is like a tangible, objective thing where it's like, all right, I'm going down in weight. I'm making progress with my weight loss, fat loss goals, most likely. Weight loss for sure, but that's a whole other video topic of the difference between losing weight and losing fat. But it's an objective thing. Body measurements also are an objective thing. So you can take measurements around your stomach, around your waist, around your chest and back, around your arms, around your legs. All of those areas, if you're doing them and checking every, 2 to 4 weeks and seeing what changes you're making and you're dropping, your measurements are going down, you're making progress, you're making strides. So with that being said, let's talk about why the scale weight went up. What caused your scale weight to go up? So these are some of the main things that would cause your scale weight to go up, even if it's not you gaining extra body fat. So if you are a woman and it's the week before your period or around your period, scale weight's probably going to go up. It's probably going to go up 3 to 5 pounds, something like that. It's going to go up. It's not you gaining body fat. That just is what it is. If you had a higher calorie meal just in general or like had more calories than normal, scale weight's probably going to go up a little bit, especially if you do it for multiple days in a row. That's just how it is. It's going to be up a little bit. If you get right back on track and have 2-3 days of being on your game with nutrition, on your game with workouts, it's going to go back down. Like even if it takes a week to go back down, like it's going to go back down. So don't worry too much about that. If you ate later at night than normal, so say your calories were the exact same, but you just ate later at night, like say your last meal is at 7:30 and then you ate at 9:30 as your last meal, you're going to wake up the next day and your food hasn't completely digested. So you're likely going to be a little bit more weight on the scale. If you ate higher carb or salt foods than normal, again, even if calories are the same, you are likely going to retain more water weight and therefore scale weight is going to be a little bit higher. Doesn't mean you gain body fat, just means you might look a little bit more bloated because you're holding on to more water weight, and it might mean the scale weight's a tad bit higher. So keep that in mind. As far as needing to go to the bathroom, so that's another thing where if you wake up and you have to go number 2 or you have to pee still or whatever it is, you got to go to the bathroom, whatever it is, that's extremely important. Something to keep in mind that after you go to the bathroom, you're going to weigh less and you're going to weigh more if you haven't gone. Day after an intense workout. This is another thing that people don't really know or aren't aware of. If you have a really heavy lifting day and you're really pushing yourself, your body is recovering and you're likely going to be holding on to more water weight because a lot of like nutrients, water is going to those bigger muscle groups, to kind of help them recover. So something to keep in mind there. So those are all reasons and times when scale weight would go up, and it's not necessarily you gaining body fat. So now we move on to the nitty gritty of like scale weight, when to do it, best time to weigh yourself, how to go about it, how often, all that kind of stuff. So best time of day to weigh yourself is definitely in the morning, right when you wake up after you go to the bathroom. in doing that on a regular basis, this is going to give you the most accurate results. It's going to be the least amount because you're not going to be taking in as much food, or you won't have any food in your body yet to like add to the actual scale weight of what it is. Sure, if you ate later at night and you weigh yourself the next day, again, you just got to kind of keep that in mind. But on a regular basis, try to weigh yourself at the same time every day in the morning. Don't do it at night at the end of the day after you had a whole bunch of food, because again, you could have a whole lot of different kind of meals that kind of determine and impact kind of how you're looking and how you're feeling. That side of things. Now, next, how often to weigh yourself. And this is kind of going to be dependent on the person. And so there are a lot of different options. So first things first, if you're doing it every single day, this is how I would do it. I would weigh yourself every single day, write it down, see kind of where the fluctuations are, and then every single week take an average of where you're at. So take your total, add up all the weights you were, divide it by 7. That's going to be your average for the week. Compare the average on a week-to-week basis, kind of see where you were. I think if you're weighing yourself, that's the best way to go about it. Every 1 to 2 weeks, I do like that. That's what I do with my clients. That's kind of what I do for myself, is just kind of see roughly where I'm at. I base more off of like how I'm looking in the mirror, how clothes are fitting, that kind of stuff. But if you're doing it every 1 to 2 weeks, it allows you to see more changes over time and kind of give yourself time to make actual changes and make progress, as opposed to every single day. It's not going to go up. It's not going to go scale weight's not going to go down every single day. Every 1 to 2 weeks, yeah, it could go down a little bit. So that's good that you're kind of spacing it out and not focusing as much on it, like on a day-to-day basis. I think the only negative with it is that if you put a whole lot of pressure on that day and you're like, oh no, if I'm not down 5 pounds after 2 weeks, then I failed, and then you stop taking actions necessary to keep making more progress, that's when it can be a negative. So keep that in mind. Whatever the scale weight is, like, it's all about continuing to stay consistent with workouts, with nutrition, and pushing yourself in that way. And then not at all. So if you're in that position where you would rather just focus on like progress photos, body measurements, how you're looking, that kind of thing, then feel free. If you've had a bad experience with scale weight before, you're not in the right mental place to do it right now, you were at a place where you're weighing yourself multiple times a day and just kind of want to get away from it, by all means, there are plenty of other ways that you can track progress. So what scale weight actually means? Good question. If it's going down just in general, but you're not taking actions to like make progress to lose body fat, so if you're not getting enough protein, not getting in enough, sorry, homies are texting me. If you're not getting enough protein, not lifting weights, not strength training, then it is going to be, it's going to be a little bit like, it's a good thing, like you're losing weight and that's your goal, but you're not going to be necessarily looking as good as you could and as you would like to. And this is kind of, again, another video topic. But overall, if scale weight is gradually going down over time, that's good. Scale weight, if you're losing around 1 to 2 pounds per week, that's a good pace. Even 0.5 to a pound a week, especially if you're leaner, is a good place it's a good amount of weight to lose too. Like, that's perfectly fine. If you have like a lot of body fat to lose, a lot of body weight to lose, then 2 to 3, 4 pounds per week also is a good pace. It's all dependent on the person and kind of how strict you want to be, but I do think around half a pound to 2 pounds at most, kind of depending on how much body weight, how much body fat you want to lose, is a really good pace. So that's something to keep in mind. So overall, to conclude everything, if you do want to weigh yourself, keep in mind some of those different things as far as like why scale weight goes up, why it fluctuates. Weigh yourself in the morning. Be mindful that the most important thing is the actions you're taking on a day-to-day basis to continue to make progress regardless of what the scale says. And then you can always make changes and adjustments to what you're doing with workouts, with nutrition, if you're not making the progress you would like. So keep that in mind. Let me know what questions you have. Like the video, subscribe to my channel. Much love. Until next time, peace and blessings.